Hi, I'm Nick Gold. I'm Managing Director of Speakers Corner, one of the leading international speaker bureaus putting on events with some of the most fantastic speakers from across the world.
Hi, I'm Linda Moir and I'm a speaker and I talk about customer experience, employee engagement and pull on some of the stories I've got from my career at Virgin Atlantic, the London Olympic and Paralympic Games, British Airways and various others.
Hi Linda.
Hello Nick.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
So listen, great to have you here, and but I was trying to wrap my brain around it. I feel I've known you forever and I can't remember when we first met and how it came apart. Do you have any recollection?
I have very clear recollection.
You're a better person than me.
It does feel like forever, but it was only 5 years ago,
Really?
so I don't know what that says about our relationship. So I just finished at the Olympics and I just started to do some casual speaking, and you somehow found out about me, gave me a call and said let's meet for a cup of tea. So I thought this sounds like a really great opportunity, so I picked the most expensive and smart tea place I could find in Covent Garden.
Oh really?
And we met and you were late, so I had to buy my own tea and cake. And not much has changed, Nick.
No, this is shameful. As you've experienced different industries and sectors, how has your narrative changed? How have you, I suppose, learned from them or had to change your viewpoints in terms of what the message you're trying to deliver? How has the marketplace developed, I suppose, in the world of customer service? So
you're absolutely right. I've learned tons on the way. You know, I learn as much from visiting clients and briefing calls. Those are incredibly useful into getting insights into different industries. How's the world of customer services changed? Well, I guess in the 5 years that I've been doing this, the growth of all the various digital platforms has fundamentally shifted customer service. But I still believe that organisations, even if they're only available digitally, personality is still important. And there's something about personality that comes through whether the organisation is communicating digitally or through people or whatever it happens to be.
So it's interesting you mentioned personalities. At Speakers Corner we discuss a lot about the fact that initial touch point with our clients are via the web or social media, hopefully by telephone and various different means, and we always want to impart our personality from the outset. Are there sectors or companies who you think are doing this really well? Yeah. So you're getting, I suppose, that consistent customer service message all the way through whichever medium that the client is coming in from?
I definitely think there is a place for personality in the digital world, and some people certainly do it better than others. When I was at Virgin, we had our service mantra that we call Brilliant Basics, Magic Touches, and I think that's still applicable today, in fact even more applicable today with the growth, as you said, of social media and all the various digital platforms. So the digital platforms have to work, and that's in the Brilliant Basic category. Magic Touches is all about injecting personality and flair, and that's where people really come in. Thinking about examples of who does it really well, well I guess on the Brilliant Basics in the retail sector, with the growth of click and collect, the click bit's dead easy, very easy to spend your money. The collect bit, I bet we've all got stories of where that hasn't worked.
Love a queue.
Absolutely, don't we all just love a queue? Who does it really well? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to refer to Virgin, my home team, because when you look on the website, the first thing you see when you log in as a frequent flyer is the big "Hello Gorgeous." Now that's personality. So an example of a magic touch, which is one of my favourites because it costs nothing. It's low in cost but high in value to the customer, and it's a story of two volunteer games makers who were working on the Olympic Park at London 2012, and they were working on the park itself, so they saw no sport for 10 days. And these two ladies would always bring 2 white toilet rolls with them onto the park. And we used to say to them, why are you doing that? We provide that, there's no need to bring that with you. And they said, just you watch. And as the spectators arrived, these ladies would unravel their white toilet roll, create a long line, and get all the children in the queue to have a running race and burst through the tape. Cost nothing, meant so much to our spectators, our customers. So I guess the moral of the story is the best ideas come from people who love their jobs.
You stand up and speak and you tell people about how kind of customer service and how it should be. But is that not something which just comes from individuals? And I suppose, how can companies, how can we kind of, especially if we're uptight, kind of English people, what encourages us to do that? What can we be doing both individually and as a company in order to achieve that? Because that was just the two people who just wanted to go above and beyond because it was them.
Yeah, it's so simple to say, but somehow something happens in organisations, particularly large organisations, but not necessarily exclusively large organisations, that blocks that. And I think people do that kind of thing because they love their jobs. It's now called employee engagement. I call it loving your job.
Okay.
And I use the word love, which is not a very British word, but I use the word love on purpose because I think there's a difference between liking your job, doing a good job, following the rules, doing what the book says, and loving your job, which is doing the right thing, not necessarily what the book says is the right thing. And the secret to that is how people are managed. Not what the people at the top of the organisation says, but what my supervisor says and how they help me to do my job well.
Okay, I have to ask, if there was a company or a sector or a couple of sectors that you look at now and you're like, how are they getting away with this? And I wish I could go in there and shake them all up. Who would it be?
Okay, great question. And I guess we'll all have our personal perspective on who that might be. In terms of industries, I know that the automotive industry has done a lot of work, but I still observe that they're great at sales, not so great at after sales and customer service. So I think there's a huge amount of work still needs to be done there. I think financial services is very inconsistent. Some of the new challenger brands in the banking sector have been great for giving some of the traditional brands a bit of a kick to get going. What I've noticed overall though is that organisations love to ask you for their feedback. So as soon as you've bought anything or you instantly get a text or an email saying, tell us, would you recommend? And that whole business of measuring Net Promoter Score has become a big industry in itself. And my fear is that organisations stop caring about the customer and are just caring about scores. And I think that really shows. My top tip is how you are inside the organisation, the way you behave with each other, the culture you have. That's exactly what your customers see. And so you can't be something to your customers that you're not to yourselves. Simple.
I love that because when I got involved in this business many years ago and me and Tim have grown the business, the one thing we came to realise is we spend too long at work, so we want to love what we do, and actually we can't be someone we're not, and we want to do that across our whole lives. And what we actively encourage the team here is to do that sort of thing. Is actually, when you're here, enjoy yourself, because this is the memories and these are the stories you've got to tell to your friends and partners and whatever outside of work. So just be yourself. Yeah. And I think that's enormously, that to me, when people talk about customer service, is really what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
No one wants to be horrible to each other or anything like that. It's just how you can do that in a more structured manner, I suppose.